Sam, there's always a buzz around Derby Day for the fans, the players, for the staff. What's it like as a manager in this situation?
Well, I think that one being a local Black Country lad, a Black Country derby, I think that that's a great thing to be competing against Wolves on Saturday. I think that our lads hopefully will look forward to the game and give everything they've got, and we are absolutely desperate, as everybody knows, to try and get a win under our belt, and there could be nothing better than for the lads to go out and show what they can do against their local rivals and come off with a victory. I think that'd be a massive bonus and a massive boost for everybody here at the training ground, and of course the fans who haven't had a lot to cheer about as yet, never mind what's happening in COVID and all that. But we've obviously, in the club and before I came, has obviously wanted to get better results and try to help the fans in this difficult time. And as you know, we can lift the mood of any West Brom fan if we put up a great performance and produce a result.
Having grown up in the area, Sam, you know what it means to Wolves fans, you know what it means to West Bromwich Albion fans. Does that give you any kind of advantage in terms of the messaging that you can give to the players?
Well, the sad thing is no crowd. I think the stimulation of a local derby and the crowd that's always perhaps that little bit more excited, and there's that little bit more atmosphere and noise around the place, that around the ground. And when you run down the tunnel, you understand the responsibility of yourself and to the club that you're contracted to, but understand the relevance to the fans on who wants the bragging rights over the weekend. And I think that that can be that extra bit of stimulation that you need. But with no fans being there, it's a very different mindset that the players really have to get into a completely different avenue in terms of their own build up to the game, for me, which is not about what we're doing physically. That happens, and technically and tactically it happens all the time. It's about their mindset, about how they can be a positive frame of mind, particularly a day before, about how well they're going to play, telling themselves constantly through the day what they're going to do, so actually play their own game in the mind. And of course, if you play your own game in your mind, you don't make any mistakes, and that then leaves you in a very positive frame of mind, hopefully, when you run out onto the pitch. And I think that's very, very important for the players to do that, and that's something that's difficult under the circumstances, not just what they're in at the moment, but also the position they're in with the results at the moment.
Obviously, due to the current restrictions, there'll be no fans. You've touched on that at Molineux on Saturday, and two sides are going into the game who are struggling to find any real form at the moment. What type of test are you expecting, and what type of game do you expect it to be?
Well, there's some very clever players that Wolves have. I mean, I watched the Everton game this week, and I watched how Everton contained those clever, tricky players that Wolves have, and how well they did that, because I think that Wolves didn't have a shot on target in the entire second half, and of course that showed that Everton's defensive unit as an 11 from front to back was very compact, denied Wolves a lot of space, particularly in the final third, and of course for them to win the game, scored two very good goals, one in open play and one off the second phase of a set piece, and that's really sort of modelling a way to go forward to Wolves, and for our players to put those sort of tactics in place. I mean, obviously we're not going to play with four centre-halves in the back four as Everton did, but we do want a good solid defensive unit first, and then play from there.
Just finally, Sam, I'd just like to ask you about Robert Snodgrass. He's been with the club now for almost a week. How's he looked in training? A lot of Albion fans will be hoping to see him make his debut on Saturday.
Well, obviously in the squad, and more likely to make his debut than as everybody would think. Yes, a little lacking match practice, not fitness, but actual match fitness will only come by Robert playing as many games as possible in a short period of time and staying fit. And then, so I don't expect the full house of and the full blown performances of Robert Snodgrass on Saturday when he starts, because there'll be that slight edge missing because of his lack of games, but it will not take him long to achieve what we know he can. One, he's an extremely fit lad, and two, I know he will use his experience in all areas to produce the best performance he can. But for me, probably to look at his situation as we venture into the second half, because then he may tire due to lack of match practice, but up until then, that first half, I expect him to be full of the joys of spring and so happy to be playing. He's come here to play football, not pick his wages up. He's come to play, and he's come to try and help us in this situation, and there's not too many of those players about at the moment.